AI is creeping into everything from our phones, work, entertainment, but no one's talking about how it can flip the entire hair system world on its head. And I'm not talking about tiny upgrades. I'm talking about faster installs, cheaper hair systems whilst increasing quality, perfect hairline realism, and even maintenance time cut in half. In fact, as technology advances, maintenance might not even be needed in future. What a time to be alive. But this isn't sci-fi, guys. This is how AI will revolutionize how we live with hair systems. Think better quality, cheaper systems, and less hassle. So today we're going to be looking at how AI moving forward can revolutionize our day-to-day hair system experience. From ordering to wearing to styling to design, all of this in ways that will genuinely make our lives easier and results even more realistic. And the most exciting part, some of this stuff is going to arrive quicker than you think. So even within the next few years, research undertaken by Goldman Sachs estimates that 6 to 7% of the US workforce could be displaced by AI. That's just in the next few years. And I think we're going to start seeing this translate into every aspect of our lives, not just our work lives, but also our home lives. And then we look at cosmetics and how it's being used to optimize the most effective and efficient ways of injecting Botox into someone's skin. So it's coming, guys. Now look, we've got some amazing tech at the moment that is really driving more and more realistic hairlines. Some of the things I see on TikTok and Instagram Reels are literally blowing my mind, but it can get even better. And one idea that's been mooted is that AI will be able to generate lace bases that are thinner but also stronger. Now, any of you who've worn a lace base, especially a Swiss lace, you'll know that even though the material is quite thin, that also means it's quite fragile. Now, AI can change this by analyzing millions of microweaves. Now, I'd like you to think about carbon fiber, for instance. Carbon fiber is just literally millions of fibers just wielded together. Those fibers on their own are actually very weak and very fragile, but when you pull them all together, they're actually really quite robust. Another idea which is being generated, hair injection angles. So this would be more appropriate for your poly bases. Now, usually you'll find that hair is injected at the front for the poly bases because if it's like single knots, it can really be incredibly obvious. However, a current problem that we face is that the ones that are effectively V-looped into the front of a poly base don't stick with the base as well as the single knots, so you do get generally more shedding, although you do get a more realistic hairline. So it's a trade-off at the moment, but we don't want trade-offs. How they might do that? Well, they may look at old pictures and assess them from when you did have hair, or they might just look at your side hair and be able to garner information from that. But it will basically be able to design a front hairline that would have looked exactly like it did before you experienced hair loss. Now, what would this mean? Well, number one, it'd mean no more random hairs going off in random directions. I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I was actually having to pluck some of the hairs out of the front because they were just going off in weird directions. And does this video so far feel like a scene out of Blade Runner? Well, yeah, it probably does. But these things, when you think about it, they're not really that unrealistic, especially when you think of the power that we can harness using artificial intelligence. Another thing that we can all agree needs to be worked on and optimized is oxidation, which is basically when your hair starts going lighter, starts developing gingery undertones after a couple of months of wearing a system. Now, as yet, there's no technology which can really get on top of that, but I do have a lot of faith in artificial intelligence that we can work out a way to overcome this obstacle. What would it mean? It would mean we get more time out of our hair systems. We wouldn't have to deal with the discoloration, and we could basically use whatever shampoo we wanted instead of really super fancy ones, which we have to rely on now to ensure that we maintain that pigment for as long as possible. Now, maintenance. Let's talk low maintenance systems, which is really where I think AI could come into its own. What I mean by maintenance is basically cleans and rebonds. I do mine every 10 to 14 days on average. That's the biggest pain point for people. Either they're scared, they won't know what to do, or they're like, we just don't have time to do this, and so on, and yada, yada, yada. I totally get it. And although the current tech we've got right now is good, it can get better. We need to get better at streamlining this whole process, because when you streamline that whole process, you can spend more time doing the things you love rather than getting glue all over your hands and maybe some glue on the carpet. Now, with AI designed materials, we might actually be able to get bases which repel oil better, or repel sweat better, or just last longer. What I tend to use at the moment to deal with the sweat issue is No Sweat by Pro Hair Labs. It's a really amazing product, but in 10 years or so, I'd really like to see there being a base available that does all the hard yards for you. It repels the sweat, it repels the oils, maybe it finds a way of absorbing them and getting rid of them somehow. And why would these new bases be amazing? Well, there would be less bond breakdown, easier clean times, longer wear times, and just less maintenance. Another technology which AI could be utilized for is in developing smarter adhesives. So what do I mean by that? I basically mean adhesives, so glues in particular, that basically change their consistency with the temperature or the moisture of the environment that you're in. So a real bugbear for people right now is they might wear, let's say, Ghost Bond XL, they go to the gym, they sweat a heck of a lot, and naturally the bond breaks down quicker. What if that wasn't an issue? What if we had technology available that would be able to change with temperature, with sweat levels, so that you wouldn't actually get any lessening of the bond? It still holds just as hard if you're sweating like a maniac as if you're chilling in Alaska somewhere. How awesome would that be? And you just wouldn't get scared about lifts as well. And what we're likely to see over the next 3 to 5 years, AI being utilized to develop specific formulations that outperform everything that we have available to us today. Now let's talk about how we can use AI through our phone cameras to assess what needs to be done to our systems. And this is a bit scary for me because it'll probably put me out of a job, but at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm all about progress. But there will be a time, and it's probably not too far away, where you'll be able to use your camera through an app. It will be able to assess the state of your system, what needs improving, does it need binning, do you need a new system, what glue might be best for you. And we're kind of not a million miles away from this. I use ChatGPT for my job, and I must say you can actually use your camera, you can use images, and it can actually assess those images pixel by pixel and actually give you answers. I know that Google AI Gemini can do the same. It's really quite cool. And I think that eventually it will be able to assess the dryness of the hair and maybe what products you could use to address those dryness issues. Heck, we might even get to a point where you can actually implement your DNA data into a bit of AI software, and it will be able to analyze your genes to see what products would work best for you. The last bit that I want to touch on with you guys, and a lot of you might find this the most important part of the video, is basically cheaper hair systems but with better quality. And this is where I get excited because this is what the channel's all about. It's about saving money. And this is why I'm so bullish about AI as well. So let's look at where we are right now. A huge majority of hair systems are made by hand. That's skill, that's labor, that's time. And it's effectively what makes hair systems the price they are right now. Now, AI-powered robotics could handle the injection of the hairs into the system. They could do the base cutting. They could do the density mapping. They could even do the color blending, meaning they could be punching out one system every 5 to 10 minutes. So it'd be faster, it would be less wasteful. I hasten to add, you'd probably get more consistency with your systems as well. And as a result of all of that, the costs drop, the quality rises. It also means that if you're more into your custom systems, it's highly, highly likely that you would get your order rather than waiting 8 to 12 weeks, you probably get it well within a week. Now, another thing which came to my mind the other day, and this is speculative, I don't know whether this will or will not happen, but my thoughts are AI might also be implemented to create for us almost like a price comparison site. So whenever you buy your car insurance, whenever you buy your broadband, your mobile contract, you can go onto price comparison sites where it shows you all of the different providers and you get strengths, you get weaknesses, you get reviews. I think there's a decent chance that we're going to get the same with hair systems in the next few years. And I genuinely think that's a really good thing because there's a lot of great providers out there, LaVivid themselves included. I wear all of their systems, but there's also a lot of cowboys out there. It really can be the wild, wild west. And I get a lot of questions from people being like, this company, I came across their website, should I order from them? I go onto their website, I've never heard of them. They've got about 20 followers on TikTok and you can't find any reviews about them. Now, if we do have a price comparison, or even, let's rephrase that, a quality comparison, you'll be able to see basically their strengths, their weaknesses, and actual reviews from real life hair system wearers. And I think that would be great for the industry. I think it would be great for hair system wearers globally. It would probably also allow for you to see more dynamic pricing models. So if LaVivid are doing an offer, maybe they're doing 20% off for December in the lead up to Christmas, you'd be able to see that on the price comparison site. You'll be able to see it from other providers as well. One last point I want to mention about this, and this is already available on ChatGPT because I tried it out myself the other day, is you can literally type into ChatGPT, can you list me 5 to 10 hair system stylists within my county or within my state? Or you can put in your postcode and say, name me all of the hair system stylists that are within a 50-mile radius of me. And guess what? it comes back with some amazing results. A lot of places I'd never even heard of. I went on their website and I was like, I've never even heard of these guys. And that's available to you right now. So again, that's something 100% worth looking into. So in conclusion, look guys, hair systems are amazing. They've changed my life in the best possible way imaginable. In fact, they've changed hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of guys' lives. But we are just scratching the surface of what's possible. And I always encourage everyone I speak to, have faith in human progression. Remember, we are always advancing as a species. Let's rewind 15 years. How many of you 15 years ago had an iPhone? How many of you 15 years ago had fiber optic broadband? How many of you 15 years ago may have had an electric or a hybrid car? We are always progressing. We are always getting better. We are always improving. And that goes for every single thing in life, and it's no different for hair system technology. And I can assure you that artificial intelligence is already being used right now within the industry. It will make your hair systems cheaper, it will make your whole experience of wearing hair systems easier, and it will make the systems themselves even more realistic. Honestly, guys, the next decade or two is going to be insane. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're new to hair systems or the concept of hair systems more generally, but it's something that you're really interested in, maybe you suffer male pattern baldness, maybe you've got alopecia, maybe you've got trichotillomania, and you're looking for a solution to get hair back on your head, I've pulled together a completely free video that you can download called 5 Biggest Mistakes Hair System Beginners Make and how to avoid them. It will save you money, time, and a heck of a lot of stress. Oh, and it also plugs perfectly into everything we've been talking about today. Grab it now using the link in the description beneath my video. It's free, it's practical, and it will set you up for success as the industry keeps evolving. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Are there any other things that you think AI can revolutionize with hair systems? Let me know in the comments box below. I'd love to hear your views, hear your thoughts. If you're enjoying my content as well, please do hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find hair systems on the internet. Until next time, guys, I'll speak to you very soon.